Two triple threat matches have been possibly revealed in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament that begins tonight on Monday Night Raw. Details on who is in said triple threat matches. Plus, could we see a big time return tonight on the Red Brand? Details on that. WWE was reportedly very happy with Asuka's performance this past weekend at Backlash. Kendrick has reportedly returned as a part-time producer in WWE. An update on who WWE considers to be the biggest stars of each respective brand after the draft has now been completed. Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes is reportedly far from over. In addition, Io Sky and Bianca Belair, their feud is not over just yet. WWE touts the record-breaking Backlash Premium Live event. Sonia DeVille and Chelsea Green headed for an angle tonight on Raw. And Shawn Michaels opens up on the growth goals for NXT. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment. Let's start off talking about the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tonight on Monday Night Raw. We're going to find out who's going to Night of Champions to compete for the World Heavyweight Championship. The tournament for the new World Heavyweight title begins tonight on Monday Night Raw, and we now know how the triple threat matches will be broken up. According to PW Insider Elite, Damian Priest versus Seth freaking Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura will make up one of the matches, while Finn Balor, The Miz, and Cody Rhodes will fill out the other. Of course, the winners of each bout will then square off tonight in the main event, with the winner moving on to Night of Champions on May 27th. It was reported earlier today that the World Heavyweight Championship tournament will be taking up a significant portion of tonight's episode of Raw. So, given that those are reportedly the triple threat matches in question, who do you think is going to win the respective triple threat matches? And then I guess move into what the main event of the show will be. What do you think the main event will be? And who do you think will go on to Night of Champions? Let me know your thoughts, your predictions in the comment section below. Now, possible spoilers ahead for this one, because this might be a spoiler for a big event tonight on Raw. We could see a big time return. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because we could see a big time return indeed, and that being maybe one Becky Lynch. Now, there were some potential spoilers on creative plans for the show, but now more potential spoilers have indeed come out. Per WRKD Wrestling, the preliminary plans for tonight's show include the return of a big-time superstar. While obviously nothing has been said outright by WRKD Wrestling, this is likely a hint at Becky Lynch's return, who has not been on the show since Trish Stratus turned on her following their Women's Tag Team Championship loss to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Furthermore, there is also said to be a family reunion plan for the show, which is likely a reunion of NXT's The Way faction with Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Dexter Lumis, and newly drafted Indy Hartwell. Finally, the show is going to start by highlighting those that were drafted to Raw from NXT during the draft, with those names including JD McDonough, Indy Hartwell, Kaden Carter, and Katana Chance, Apollo Crews, Indus Sher, Odyssey Jones, and Zoe Stark. Triple H is reportedly looking to have people talking about the first post-draft episode of Raw in a major way, with tonight's show marking the beginning of the World Heavyweight Championship tournament. As I mentioned earlier on, we now know what those matches will consist of. When it comes to Becky Lynch, though, and her return tonight, again, hasn't been confirmed or anything like that. This is speculation. But one thing you can possibly see tonight too is missing posters for Becky Lynch on tonight's episode of Raw, as the storyline between her and Trish Stratus is set to continue per Fightful Select. As I mentioned, we last saw Lynch on April 10 when Stratus stepped in to defend the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships alongside her after an attack rendered Lita unable to compete. Stratus would get pinned by Liv Morgan during the title match, however, losing the titles in the process. Yet when Lynch looked to console her after the match, she was instead met with a vicious attack from behind and a chick kick for her troubles. The following week, Stratus took credit for the attack on Lita, explaining that she needed it to be crystal clear that the person who screwed Becky Lynch out of the titles was me. Lynch, on the other hand, wasn't present that night, tweeting beforehand that she wouldn't be showing up on Monday Night Raw. The storyline between the two has progressed regardless, with Stratus cutting promos in consecutive weeks, citing a lack of gratitude from the man, as well as the WWE Universe as a whole. All the while staking her claim as the single most important figure in the history of WWE. A report last month indicated that a match between the two at SummerSlam this August was the goal. Assuming it does happen, that would mark Stratus' first singles match since SummerSlam 2019, when she lost to Charlotte Flair in front of her home crowd in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Certainly going to be interesting to see, indeed, if that match does happen. Omos lost this past weekend to Seth freaking Rollins. However, those within WWE were very happy with his performance. Many of the matches had a lot of build going into them, of course. One match that didn't was the seemingly random match between Seth freaking Rollins and Omos. The match ended up having a lot of heat from the live crowd in Puerto Rico, with Rollins picking up the victory in an entertaining bout. Per PW Insider Elite, those backstage were very happy with Omos's performance at Backlash, with the feeling being that this is one of his best pay-per-view matches that he's had, or one of his best major matches certainly that he's had. Rollins, as I mentioned, will be used as part of the upcoming tournament for the new World Heavyweight Championship on tonight's episode of Raw. As for Omos, well, he's a free agent following the WWE draft, with him being able to float between Raw and SmackDown. So reportedly, those in WWE very happy with the performance of the Nigerian Giant. There's been quite a bit of speculation, hasn't there, about Brian Kendrick, his status in WWE, after rumours suggested he might have been involved in producing a match this weekend, which were debunked. Well, after a little in the way of public developments for almost 6 months, Brian Kendrick and his curious status with WWE are back in the news. Back in November, Kendrick was reportedly brought in at Ronda Rousey's request to produce her Survivor Series match with Shotzi, as he was Rousey's original pro wrestling trainer, but it was made clear that he had not been hired back. On Monday, though, today, PW Insider Elite reported that he is, quote, being brought in from time to time when needed to work in a producer capacity. There was no elaboration given as to why he was needed at the times he's being brought in. It's not clear if this is an uncommon arrangement with WWE using a freelance producer, if it has anything to do with not wanting to hire someone who was fired by AEW in February of last year over videos of him spreading white supremacist and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories resurfacing. It might have something to do with that, but by all accounts, he's being used on a per appearance basis or a freelance basis, but again, that could change in the future. As I mentioned, tonight's episode of Raw is the first post-draft episode of the Red Brand since the draft was completed, and there's a bit of insight, I guess, and it's emerged as to who WWE sees as the biggest stars on each brand following the draft. The drafted rosters became official today, Monday 8th of May, following the May 6th Backlash Premium Live event. Ahead of Monday Night Raw, WWE has now updated the online banners for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT following the draft. Each graphic features 6 wrestlers, indicating the top stars of each brand following the draft. The Raw graphic, as you can see on the screen, features Cody Rhodes, SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, and the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The SmackDown banner predictably has Roman Reigns front and center, alongside Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, United States Champion Austin Theory, Solo Sikoa, Charlotte Flair, and Bobby Lashley. On the NXT image, NXT Champion Carmelo Hayes, North American Champion Wes Lee, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, Bron Breakker, and Tiffany Stratton were given the spotlight. Now, again, this could be seen as an insight as to who WWE considers the major stars of each show. It could mean nothing, but what do you think it means? Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below, as always. Now, Cody Rhodes defeated the Beast, Brock Lesnar, at Backlash. He didn't really conquer him, though, as it would appear that he kind of luckily got the victory by stacking up the Beast after he locked in a Kimura lock. Obviously, the American Nightmare and the Beast clashed in the final match of the May 6th Premium Live event, that being Backlash. Rhodes walked away with the match with a victory after pinning Lesnar while trapped in the Kimura lock submission hold. With this somewhat controversial ending, it has been speculated that Lesnar will soon target Rhodes, wanting revenge. Per WRKD Wrestling, the Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar rivalry is far from over, teasing there'll be some sort of altercation between the duo on tonight's episode of Raw. WRKD Wrestling tweeted, quote, Cody Rhodes' feud with Brock Lesnar is far from over. While Cody is currently in the Raw World Heavyweight Championship tournament, the Beast incarnate will quickly make his intentions known. Now, are they teasing that Brock's going to cost Cody Rhodes a match in the tournament, whether it be his triple threat match or possibly the finals of it? We'll have to wait and see, but reportedly, their feud is far from over. Speaking of far from over, so is the feud between Bianca Belair and Io Sky, if Io Sky has anything to do with it. At the May 6th show, Sky unsuccessfully challenged Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. However, after the match in question, she cut a passionate Japanese promo, which she revealed, hey, this isn't over just yet. Despite Belair being on the cusp of a history-making reign, the San Juan, Puerto Rico crowd got behind Sky, cheering for the Damage Control star. Following the bout, Sky cut a promo in Japanese during an interview segment, noting that the rivalry is not over. She said, quote, hey, you saw that, didn't you? The fans wanted me to win more than Bianca. The WWE Universe wanted Io Sky to win. That's one. At the end, some stuff happened with Bianca, Bayley, like stuff happened. But anyhow, everyone in Puerto Rico believed I would win. And Bianca is on SmackDown, and we, Damage Control, are also on SmackDown. This means it's still not over. Bianca, the next time, I will make everyone know that Io Sky is the worthy champion. As Sky mentioned, Belair, Bayley, Dakota Kai and Sky will all move to SmackDown during the WWE draft, so maybe indeed the feud is not over just yet. Speaking of Backlash, incredibly successful event, and WWE has touted the success of it. WWE has touted the Backlash 2023 Premium Live event as a record-breaking show following buzz about the international event. The May 6 show notably emanated from the Coliseo de Puerto Rico in San Juan, Puerto Rico. WWE has now announced that it was the highest-grossing and most-viewed Backlash event in WWE history, with over 34,800 fans in attendance between SmackDown and Backlash. Backlash itself was attended by 17,944 fans. They released the following press release today saying, quote, WWE today announced that Backlash, which emanated from the Coliseo de Puerto Rico Jose Miguel Aguilar in San Juan, Puerto Rico, became WWE's highest grossing and most viewed Backlash in company history. Viewership of Backlash saw a 28% increase versus the record set in 2022. The event, which featured Bad Bunny, the most streamed music artist in the world, marked the largest gate ever for any WWE event held in Puerto Rico and the largest gate in the history of Backlash. More than 34,800 fans descended on San Juan, Puerto Rico for back-to-back sellout nights of SmackDown and Backlash. It also marked the most social Backlash of all time, led by over 40 million views of the San Juan street fight featuring Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. The hashtag WWE Backlash, accompanied by a custom Bad Bunny emoji, trended #1 across the entire evening of sports. In addition, Backlash broke merchandise and sponsorship records as the first ever WWE event under the expanded partnership with Fanatics, overseeing the on-site event retail experience. Top selling items included the WWE Backlash and LWO Puerto Rico t-shirts. Sponsorship revenue surpassed any Backlash event in history, breaking last year's record with a 98% year-on-year increase through partnerships with Netflix's Fubar, Mike's Harder Lemonade and Xfinity. So certainly a very, very, very successful show, and WWE continues to head out the park when it comes to their premium live events this year. Moving back to Raw, we could see an angle tonight on Monday Night Raw. Since returning to WWE at the 2023 Royal Rumble, Chelsea Green has spent most of her time either looking for a tag team partner or requesting to speak to WWE's manager. And with Carmella, her initial choice of partner, no longer an option after announcing her pregnancy, Green has seemingly found common ground with Sonia DeVille, and it seems they'll be continuing to look to speak to management together. Fightful Select is reporting that WWE is looking to continue the angle between Green and DeVille, which started on social media, where they petitioned fellow WWE wrestlers and staff to go against WWE management. It was also confirmed that Green and DeVille will be teaming up regularly going forward as a tag team. There is some irony in play here, given that DeVille was part of on-screen management in WWE for quite a while. After returning from a several-month hiatus in January 2021, DeVille assumed the role of an on-screen assistant for WWE Authority figure Adam Pearce, and later started making executive decisions on both Raw and SmackDown. She continued in the role until being relieved of her executive duties in May 2022. While the Green DeVille tag team is still in its very early stages, the duo has already had some noteworthy bouts, appearing in a four-way tag team match with on night 2 of WrestleMania 39 and challenging Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships on the April 21st episode of SmackDown. Unfortunately for Green and DeVille, they came up short in both bouts. Finally, Shawn Michaels has spoken about his goals for the growth of NXT. Of course, he's now in charge of the developmental brand, certainly the on-screen product anyway. WWE Senior Vice President of Talent Development Creative Shawn Michaels has shared some insights on how NXT is viewed as compared to Raw and SmackDown. Prior to the brand's reboot in September 2021, it was argued that NXT could have been pushed as WWE's third brand, despite it being viewed as the company's developmental territory. With the company focusing on honing skills of the younger athletes in addition to experienced names, the brand's goals have changed over the past 2 years. Speaking on Stick It to Wrestling, Shawn Michaels noted that he doesn't believe NXT was ever competing with the main roster brands from a pure standpoint. Noting that he wants to get NXT to the point that the brand will sell out big arenas, Michaels said, quotes, "Well, certainly that's always going to be the goal, NXT selling out larger venues, but at the same time, I'll say this, and again, I mean it lovingly, of course, but at no time really again, from pure numbers standpoint, was NXT competing with Raw or SmackDown, nor should it. Raw Raw has a 35-year head start, you know what I mean? SmackDown 2025. So again, they are ingrained in so much of not just the world of wrestling, but in our culture as a whole. It's been a big part of people's lives. NXT is just beginning that kind of, journey. But certainly, look, it's always been about growing and expanding. I've learned this in this company. You're never standing still. If you're standing still, you're getting passed by. So we're always looking towards the future. But I absolutely want to get NXT to where we are selling out big arenas. At the same time, though, we have to, again, when everything's said and done, we are the training facility to, so to speak, or again, the developmental of WWE. I look at it as college football. To me, college football still sells out big stadiums. I actually prefer it, you know what I mean? The pros, to be perfectly honest, because you never know what's going to happen. 2-minute drill in the pros and you can click off. 2 minutes left in a college football game and you still have no idea what's going to happen. It can turn around in the last 10 seconds, and that's what I love about NXT, is that it's still unpredictable. It's a little bit Wild West, and honestly, sometimes you never know what you're going to get from a live television standpoint because it's not as crisp, not as clean, because it's more raw. And that's the part I enjoy about it, and I think that's what makes us unique. So, do you agree with what Shawn Michaels says there about the goals for NXT? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But there you go, guys. It's the latest WWE news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.